Hey guys, thanks for joining me this week on For All Things Lexington. It's the only show dedicated to Lexington, South Carolina. Here, you'll hear me talk to people, groups, bands, and organizations about where to go, what to do, and who's who in and all around our beautiful Lake Murray. I'm your host, Angela Barrett, and this is For All Things Lexington. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. I have with me Matt Rogers. He is the owner and operator of Hazelwood Brewery right here in Lexington on Main Street, downtown Lexington, as I like to say.
Yep.
Thanks for being with me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, exciting. I don't really know where to start with you because I have so many questions. So I'm just going to start with this. How did you learn to make your own beer?
Well, that came from us living out at the farm and having an open field that was not really used. Our family history is farming in South Carolina. We go way back doing, farming business practices. And we really fell into an opportunity to try something new when we were offered the opportunity to start growing a new product. We wanted to try something other than corn or soybeans, our typical crop.
Right.
So I started growing hops as a hobbyist venture when I was a young man, and they ended up growing well. So we just took it further and further until the point where we had to make something out of it. So we just kind of took that idea and just took it to the furthest level we could. Ended up going to brewing school in Chicago.
Oh, nice.
Learned how to make beer professionally. Came back and made some different career decisions in the beer industry, just kind of meandering around through owning and operating homebrew supply stores, teaching people how to make beer themselves at their own house, being a part of a local homebrewing community, then eventually working with other breweries, helping them get opened up, with originally Conquest Brewing and then River Rat and Cottontown Brew Lab, which none of those are still here anymore. They're all gone now. And that has kind of paved the way to where we are now, where we've been offered the opportunity to revamp an old building here in Lexington and move in as Hazelwood.
Yeah, so that you answered my next question, which came first, the farm or the beer. So obviously the farm. Now, I know that's a hop farm, but your family has a different farm as well, and it is?
Well, it's in Perry, South Carolina, down near Aiken, and that's just been in our family forever, but it's just, we subsistence farming.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Now, how long does it take? So from the hops, we've got that. How long does it take to make, I'm going to say a keg of beer because I don't know what the scale is.
It depends on the type of beer. We try to cover the bases at the brewery. We want to make something for everybody. So some beers take longer, being, a lager style beer. Lager means to age in German. So it's like where it gets brewed cold and fermented cold and aged cold for a long period of time. So that lets the beer become crisp and clean and light. So that's what a lot of the customers here in Lexington really like. I think it's our best-selling style of beer is our lager beers.
Right.
We love paying attention to detail and not taking any shortcuts. So a lot of times bigger production breweries will filter it, run it through a series of filters. It'll remove a lot of the particulates, making the beer super clear and super crispy early, but you remove all the flavor and aroma. So we don't do it that way. We let it age the old way, just cold. And so we love that style of beer.
And that takes, so a lager, how long does that,
That could take anywhere from 6 weeks to 10 weeks.
Oh, okay. Wow. Now, how many beers do you make? I know not all at one time on your taps, but how many beers do you have in your, recipe list?
We have 14 different beers on tap. And those rotate around with different seasonal beers that we like to try to make for, what people are looking for at the time of year.
Right.
Darker beers in the wintertime, maybe a little stronger, lighter beers in the summertime, using seasonal ingredients if we can.
Pumpkin and
things we can grow at our farm, pumpkins, watermelons, that kind of stuff. So,
right.
Yeah, we try to keep a variety, but, our brew house lets us do 6 beers at a time, 6 tanks, big, giant tanks. And those take different lengths of time to make. So, one will be coming off and another one will have to sit for a little while.
So here today you have 14 taps and you keep 14 beers. Like if somebody wanted to go in there, have a flight or a couple of flights at that point, there are 14 different beers to choose from.
That's right.
All right.
But you have other recipes, like you said, the fall or specialty beer.
Totally.
But those are your main, I would say, main characters. And
We have core beers that are kind of on all the time that people have become familiar with, and the places that sell our beer around town love and want to keep it on tap all the time.
right.
It's become kind of we've got popular brands such as Neuroscience IPA or Indo-Outdo or Pilsner or Mexican Lager. All these beers are beers that we keep on all the time.
Right.
But then we're also very much into the creativity side of craft beer. I think it's very much a part of what we do, is always trying to look for new ideas and ways to be better, ways to bring in new ingredients or things that are seasonal or maybe trendy in types of ingredients. Like right now, we've got a yuzu wheat beer called Yudu Yuzu. So yuzu is a very citrusy, lemony kind of tropical kind of fruit. Very lemony.
Yeah.
So we love it.
So now, I have read somewhere where you use some very strange ingredients, all local or as local as you can. Obviously, the hops is from your farm.
Mm-hmm.
But tell me about this bark and this other stuff that I read about. What is that?
Yeah, so, I mean, trying to be seasonal, trying to be hyper-local, focusing on creativity, but also making the quality beer. I think our number one purpose is to make solid, good beer. And then after that, the story can come, and the ingredients can be cool or trendy or whatever. But
Right.
generally, we want to make the best possible beer we can make. And if we're able to take something from our farm that was maybe used historically, or something that was like made, the Pilgrims used it or something like that, we love to try to break into the history side of it.
Sure. Now, so what beer uses bark?
Well, that may have been a fun one-off beer that we didn't do all the time. But, you never know until you
Like,
try.
I have to ask about the bark.
Yeah, you never know until you try. There are a lot of little flavors out there in nature that are underrepresented and people just don't know about.
Sure. So how long did it take you, I guess? I know you said you went to beer school. How long did it take you to perfect your first beer that you're like, this is ready to serve?
Well, I mean, they always get better. And that's the good thing about brewing, is that we can constantly tweak and take good notes and try to make it better every time. And I believe that we do every time we brew. I think that there's some little way that we can improve on things. And I never really believed that we've ever got it fully figured out. So,
Right.
but you have to start making a living at some point. And after
True.
helped other breweries kind of make their beers, we were able to adapt it pretty fairly easily.
Now, do you give beer tours or tours at the they can call or
Sure.
website?
Yeah, we love giving tours. And we're actually giving a hop farm tour this month at the farm on June 22nd. So, we have a hop farm that is growing. We grow hops right along the Wateree River. So we like to show where it all comes from, where the ingredients come from, that way we can make that connection.
Yeah.
And, we can understand, like, beer doesn't just come from some factory somewhere or some, ingredient A plus ingredient B equals beer. It's like actually is a thing. So yeah, we love giving tours. We love talking about our place. Our building is such a unique space, and we love to just talk about the building itself and the surroundings, the beer garden, and the way we're trying to incorporate everything else.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this: do you still use your Frankenbrew?
So Frankenbrew is a kind of a methodology. It is a way of taking items that are not typically used for brewing practices and turning it into a brewery. So very, very much like breweries are all unique, and there's so many different breweries out there. I mean, all over, just in South Carolina, we have over 100 breweries. But the reason that they're all unique and different, and the reason we can have so many different breweries, is because they all bring their own different flair, and every little piece of equipment can change the overall outcome. So when we take something like a dairy tank and convert it over into a brewing piece of equipment, or take a Campbell soup vessel that we have as our mash tun, we have a Campbell soup tank that we turned into a mash tun. It lets us be different. It lets us repurpose and salvage and be sustainable. That's really a big part of what we're trying to do, is like not throw things away if we can help it. Breathe life back into some of this equipment that may have been thrown away at one point. But we love taking unique parts of the world and trying to bring it into our brewery.
Because you built that.
We did. We have a background in manufacturing, so we weld and do all the plumbing, electrical, everything. So it's a lot of fun for us, and we have a little bit more of a connection to it.
So, I know right now that there is a project going on with the town of Lexington. It is the Old Mills. It's a trail that they're working on.
Mm-hmm.
And you have some involvement in that.
Well, we're a part of it. We're next to it. If anything, we're just like ancillary benefits of being next to the trail. I mean, we all love nature. We're very much a nature-oriented brewery. So having a nature trail, a beautiful nature trail attached to us is just going to be a huge draw for bringing people in to enjoy the beautiful landscape that we have around us in this old textile mill. We were there when the flood happened in October 5th, 2015. We watched the dam blow away because we were brewing the beer for Old Mill Brew Pub. So it was a kind of a scary time, and it took a long time for us to all start to get over it and to eventually watch this dam be rebuilt and watch the whole place, from the ground floor in front of us, converted from a disaster zone back into a very useful, beautiful place. Yeah, I think we definitely have a connection to it.
Right. So my understanding, and you'll know more because you're right here than I do, is that it's going to be about 1.5 miles, solid, trail. And again, like you said, it's going to come right there by you. In other words, hey, before you head back, come get a beer. And I think that's going to be really cool.
We always wanted to be a trailhead brewery, so we are going to be on a trail, and we will be at an access point for the trail. So we get to watch the folks come and enjoy it, and hopefully stop by afterwards or before. We're hoping to do some nature walk oriented, fun ideas, and do some 5K runs or whatever it is. We love being outside. So.
Oh, that would be fun.
And the hydroelectric turbine that was part of the original textile mill has been repurposed and has been totally revamped. So it's going to be making the power that runs the whole textile mill.
Oh.
And the water flowing out of the pipe will be coming out along our creek. So we'll have a water feature right in front of our brewery again, like it used to be.
Yeah. Oh, nice. That'll be really nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to get, not that I don't like craft beer, but I'm going to get to the favorite part of this, the building in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
I love old warehouses, old buildings. In this case, it was the old mill, and your part was the old boiler room.
That's right.
The architect in that, the arch, 4 ways. And it is phenomenal. When you decided to redo this, I think you were met with some, not your immediate family, but probably some people went, he has lost his mind. Because that was quite an undertaking, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, very much so. We are a little crazy.
But
we're stubborn, and we have passion.
Yeah.
So that helps steer us in the right direction and keeps us from giving up.
Yeah.
So the stubbornness definitely keeps us going. But yeah, we were conscious of that property while we were brewing the beer for Old Mill Brew Pub, and it was just kind of a relic down there, just beautiful in its own way, but it could have used a lot of improvement. The flood had an impact on the property, had washed a bunch of debris in there, and it took a while to excavate all of that out by hand. So we did that while we were still brewing the beer for the brew pub. So it let us kind of have a still brew beer and keep the knives sharpened, but we were also able to in their extra time go in there and turn that old abandoned, it was abandoned in the 60s,
right,
back into something viable and beautiful and alive.
And beautiful it is. I am, again, big on the architecture of buildings, especially that age. But so you took a lot and restored from, I know a tree is the bar, right?
That's
So tell me about that. It was something with you and your dad had saved for a while, I think.
Well, yeah, our farm is in Camden. It's on the Wateree River, and we built the cabin at the farm, and we have already kind of been doing a lot of the barn kind of construction stuff. We're very much into using what we have available to us. We're really into sustainability and not going to Lowe's if I can help it. They're nice folks over there, but I'd rather not go to the home improvement store to buy something.
Right.
If I've got a cool piece of timber laying around or a tree that, blew over in a storm, and we take it to a sawmill and have it cut into beams, and it's just the coolest way to try to preserve what we have and bring consciousness to the nature that surrounds us and use the things that we have. So the textile mill was full of old pipes and trinkets and things that just kind of lended themselves to becoming what we have now. We repurposed as much of it as we could just to for the salvaging side of it,
right,
and to keep the character of the property. So by bringing in trees from our farm that we had cut up into slabs and posts, and, we're tying in our farm to the brewery. So we're making that connection, and we want to be able to tell that story in every way we can.
And like the exposed pipes, and I guess it was refurbished wood that you built for the upstairs, what I call the loft.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just beautiful. Y'all did such a great job.
Thank you.
And
one day at a time.
Yeah. And I love the addition of the outdoor space out back.
Mm-hmm.
And what y'all call that again? What?
Beer garden.
Beer garden. I was going to say, I call it a garden, but I don't want to say the wrong word. Yeah, that was, that's pretty cool.
It is the only beer garden in the town of Lexington, in the proper town of Lexington. I think it's a beautiful space, and we're really loving taking a place that was at the time after the flood. I mean, everything has to kind of be put into that context. The area was just basically unusable. It was, and we had to go in there and completely remediate it. It was a real flood apocalypse back there.
Right.
So we had to just dig out. There was a distillery that got destroyed in the flood. That had to be completely cleaned out, and then put in drainage so that when it rains, it doesn't flood.
Right.
And just all the things. But now, one day at a time, adding little art pieces and making it really based on like your grandpa's backyard kind of feel.
Right.
Swings and water features and wind chimes and birdhouses and,
right.
Custom built benches and using, little string lights. And it just is cool. Every day there's a way to go in there and make it a little cooler.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't been over to Hazelwood, first, the beer is good and it's cold. But again, everything that y'all have done in there, and you can tell that this was done with love and attention to detail, but it was all the refurbished, and I think that's what I love the most about it. And again, the architecture of that is it's beautiful, the archways and all of that. Y'all have done such a great job. Y'all got to get by there. So where do you see in 5 years? Where are you?
5 years, we are probably still right where we are. We are not looking to become the biggest brewery in the area. We love being the hometown feel, the hometown brewery. We want to fill in the space as best as possible and allow everybody in town to understand what we offer to the community. Being a part of the trail and being part of downtown Lexington. We love, the foot traffic aspect of it, the way that, people can kind of consider us their neighborhood brewery. Yeah. So that's really what we want to be, a neighborhood community-based brewery.
Yeah, and I love your idea of the tours at the Pod Farm. That'll be really cool. I guess if anybody wants the tour and explain and see the Frankenbrewer, is that how you say it, the Frankenbrew?
Yeah, it's like Frankenstein.
Yeah,
it's Frankenbrew.
Yeah, and the that he made himself.
Come see us at Hazelwood. And you can check us out on Instagram at Hazelwood Beer.
Yep.
Or our website at hazelwoodbeerco.com. But we are offering the Hop Farm Tour on June 22nd. If anybody wanted to see where it all gets grown and made, it's an inspiration for the beer. So, that can be found on our social media as well.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And now you maybe want a cold beer.
We will be there.
Fantastic.
See us.
Thanks so much.
You got the glass.
Oh, thanks.
Yep.
Hey guys, thanks for hanging out with me today, and I hope you enjoyed the show. If you'd like to be a guest on the show or know someone you'd like to see on the show, contact me at forallthingslexington.com. That's the number 4, allthingslexington.com.
This episode has been brought to you in part by Hazelwood Brewing Company, located in Lexington's Old Mill, and produced with authenticity in our hand brewing traditional techniques by using only the best ingredients. Find us online at hazelwoodbeerco.com.
And by Angela Barrett at HomeMattersSC.com, building on what matters to you.